and the climbing animations of this game are absolutely genius.
Aloy, you're here.
Did you want to be alone?
No. We must speak. I've been thinking about your training, Aloy. You've learned to hunt, learned to survive. But I fear there's a lesson I failed to teach you. Would you learn it now?
Of course. I'll always learn what you have to teach.
There has been some trouble recently. It affords an opportunity to learn this lesson, but it will be dangerous. You must come prepared, or you will die. Descend into the Embrace, and hunt until you have gathered the parts for fire arrows.
Fire arrows? What kind of trouble are we talking about?
Once you have the parts, you will meet me there, at the gate beyond the village of Mother's Heart.
The North Gate? At the edge of the Embrace?
Yes. Now be on your way.
Is something else bothering you?
No, I'm fine.
Are you worrying about what happens after the proving?
What happens is clear. You will be accepted as one of the tribe, and I will still be an outcast, to be shunned.
Rost, even if the tribe accepts me, I won't...
There is much to do, Aloy. We will discuss this later.
Okay. Anything else you want me to do while I'm down in the Embrace?
Oddgrada might be out of food by now. You could hunt a week's worth of meat for her, if you find the time.
Wouldn't mind if she'd say thanks just once.
Grada follows the law. Her science towards us is honorable, not an insult.
If you say so. I'll go gather the parts, but I'm also going to pay Karst a visit.
Aloy, that man breaks the law every time he speaks to you.
And I'm glad he does. I want to buy a tripcaster, and no other trader will sell to outcasts.
Stock it with ammunition, then. You'll find use for that weapon tonight.
That sounds ominous. All right. See you at the North Gate.
So, sorry for that dialogue taking so long. This game likes to hide different quests and information that you might need later behind extra dialogue. It doesn't really force you to listen to all the dialogue. If you don't want to have all that extra stuff, that's fine. But there's a lot in the game, and the developers spent a lot of time programming all of this stuff for us to enjoy, and honestly, it is enjoyable. It's not some bullshit dialogue that no one gives a fuck about. Well, I guess there are parts that could be, depending on the type of person you are. But all the dialogue is very well thought out, and provides you with extra quests, such as the Oddgrada quest that I received.
Something's really bothering him. If he thinks I'm gonna abandon him, he's wrong.
Oh, and yeah, that's your map. World doesn't look very big, and the first time I played through this a little bit, it took me forever to realize that all of this was actually part of the map as well. But yeah, these spots right here that have, I guess it's yellow. Oh no, again, I'm semi-colorblind, so it kind of looks like a greenish even. I'm gonna call it yellow, because I think that's what it's supposed to be, but I'm not 100% sure. But this yellow thing, these yellow colored spots are areas that could potentially, they're usually either main quests or active quests, undiscovered locations, and yeah, no, I am so sorry. They are, I believe important places, but I guess some of the white ones are important too. I don't remember. Ignore me. And just so you know, if anybody watches this, I don't think anybody will watch this, but say that someone were to watch this, I'm not gonna cut anything out. I'm not gonna do any editing. So any deaths that I see, you'll see. Everything that I'm gonna see, you're gonna see. It's not gonna be some edited out bullshit. You know, if I die, I die. I'm not gonna be embarrassed by it. So, I mean, I made it through Bloodborne with a platinum, and I've made it through Souls games, so I should be okay. The mechanics are a lot different though, so deaths are gonna happen. It's prone to happen. But hey, it is what it is. Alright, so this is their skill system. Kinda, once you get into later stuff, it can get to be really time consuming to get to these bottom badass skills. Some of them are basically useless. Some of the skills are, but you pretty much have to buy into some of the useless ones to get to the really good ones. It's just the way it is. But I'm going to start with the Silent Strike for the first one, because this is extremely helpful, and honestly it almost makes you OP, because some of these bots can be a pain in the ass on the harder modes. As you saw with the Strider, it's supposed to be a very weak enemy, but it almost kicked my ass, kind of, not really. I just fucked up a dodge, and it hit me once. If it would have hit me twice, I would have died. But you get what I'm saying. This makes it one hit kill. Oh, I gotta hold it down. It's like, what the fuck? This is a good one to have, for silent and sneaking up on stuff. If you do a lot of jumping off shit. Plus, it leads into the long dodge roll, which is extremely helpful later on in the game when you start fighting bigger enemies, as shown in the video, because your regular dodge doesn't really do much for you all the time because of the long strike length of some of the other robots. So this is something you almost want to immediately buy into. And then I'm actually going to save that last point so I can start moving toward that, because that is a very badass skill, really. Well, actually, hold on, what do we got over here? Okay, well, I guess one other route you could go, which is the route I usually go, is to use the lyrical. If you're gonna focus on combat, get the lyrical in the beginning, because you can use it in combination with your silent strike and just fuck shit up. So why not? More experience, right? But if you wanna go ahead and go with more of the gathering route, the additional resources is very nice. You can stock up on all resources very, very quickly. It's extremely helpful. I'm going to go ahead with the lure call for now, just because it's still easy to level up, because I'm only level 3. So, but the next is I'm going to probably go with the gatherer and then start heading straight for that long roll. Alrighty. So first we're going to do the odd grata. So, you know, just like Skyrim, I guess you could say, you can just go into here in your quests. Some are called errands. There's not much different between the side quests and the errands. I don't really know the main difference. I think the errands are more running and getting things for people. The side quests are more of like actual quest style. So I guess you'd say the errands are shorter. But we're going to check out Odd Grotto first out of the way before
The embrace.
I
My whole life
move
I've
on to
never
the
gone
main
beyond
quest.
this
I like to
valley.
get everything, make sure I don't miss
That'll
anything.
change after the proving. 2 days. 2 days until I get answers. 2 days and I'll know who she was. And why I was cast out at birth. As if there could be an excuse for that. Alright. Time to gather the parts for some fire arrows. I should find a herd.
Alright, so these fireplaces, you really want to light these as soon as you see them, because later on they can be used for fast travel. So if you don't feel like running all over the fucking place, there you go. I definitely recommend doing a lot of running, especially in the beginning though. because if you don't, you're gonna miss out on a lot of resources, and if you're playing on a harder difficulty like I am, you're gonna start running out of shit and get fucked up real quick.
Mother's heart. 2 more days, and I'll know what it's like in there. It's so many people crammed into one place. I guess no one ever gets lonely in there.
What's up, buddy?
It's against the law to speak to outcasts.
Yeah, well, fuck you, little bitch. Ooh. Oh, it's just a rock. And, if you're more of the exploration type, I do believe there's an option to turn off the... Yeah, you can turn off the path waypoint finder, I believe. Why didn't that turn it off? There it is. No. There is a way to turn off the waypoint HUD, I believe. Okay, you can turn that HUD off, but I believe there's a way to turn off your waypoints as well. I just do not remember where it is. If I could show you where it was, that would be sweet. Unfortunately, I have no clue. But I was pretty sure there's a way to turn it off on your screen for a more immersive effect. But you know, you want to make sure you kill wildlife in this game, kind of like Far Cry. Use wildlife to craft different items later on, and some of the items are rare loot drops, so they're a bitch because you gotta sit there and keep fucking killing stuff over and over and over and over, and it takes forever. So yeah, it's tedious, but I do recommend killing wildlife often. Not all the time. You don't gotta kill every damn thing that you see, but you do want to kill stuff. Like if you go in here to your crafting, you can even look ahead, pick out the stuff that you need. The main things are going to be your carrying pouches. So, you know, your arrows, you always, more arrows very helpful, so that way you're not sitting in the middle of battle trying to craft shit, and then if you run out, you're shit out of luck. It's good to have your arrows stockpiled and then stock up your resources first, obviously. The modification one is kind of nice to have because there are a lot of good modifications, and there aren't different areas for armor and weapon modifications, so since they're all together in one pouch, you can run out of slots fairly quickly. Resource satchel is good to fill that up, and weapons. The weapon one is very useful, so is the resource one. The outfit one, I think like after 2 you're pretty much good. The traps pouch isn't super useful to me, to my playstyle. And you'll see my playstyle later on once we get into the more action-packed areas of the game. I mainly just use regular weapons. I don't use traps too much. And I basically have never used potions in the 2, like, 30% playthroughs I've gone through. You may find potions helpful, but you have to do crafting for them, and I find it a huge waste of time. I don't use them very often. The only time I use them is when people give them to me, usually. But yes. Yes. Very good. Very, very good. You have a nice day now. I kinda wish there was a slide instead of a roll. Or a slide and a roll, that'd be pretty cool. I like slides.
When my name was called to the mountain.